Good morning, everyone. It is Thankful Thursdays. We're here in Utah, rocking and rolling, and we have a great day together and here having fun. It's so much fun here on Thankful Thursday. Let's get the questions rolling. We are having a great time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Keaton and Nick. Good morning, Blissful. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Lex. Give me a thumbs up if you're having a Thankful Thursday. If you're thankful for something, go ahead, put it in there. We got Phillips coming on here in about 5 minutes. Mikey, LFG, Sharma, good to see you. Awesome. All right, I don't know where my team is, but they're going to pin up there. David at dmeltzer.com. There he is, right there. If you want an ebook, an audio book, or want me to sign a book and send it to you, I'll pay for shipping in the book. Just go ahead, email me, David at dmeltzer.com. Anything I may mention, a template or an exercise or a worksheet, just email me. What's up, George the dog trainer? Blaine, good morning. We got everybody rocking and rolling today. It's a busy crowd. Let's see what's going on. All right, take some questions real quick. How do you prepare for a speech? Well, every day I prepare for all my speeches by repositing lessons and stories, organizing those lessons and stories in order to articulate some sort of message that's aligned with that in which they want me to speak about. I do an introduction to give credibility and emotional attachment. I give the lessons and stories, and then I go ahead and summarize in order to have the message cemented in. I also encourage people to take notes and to create a process to revisit those notes, because life is about lessons. The lessons will keep on coming until we learn them. They will result in pain if you haven't learned them. The interesting thing about lessons is you will forget every lesson that you've ever learned. Therefore, take notes and create a process to access those notes, because you have the power to access the lessons, even ones you haven't learned, at any time. So Michael Phillips is here. Like I said, we'll reach him in about 3 minutes. Thanks for your patience. We'll take some questions in the meantime. Thank you, everyone, for pouring in on Thankful Thursday. If you want the Sanskrit 12 lessons of life, just email me, David at dmeltzer.com. I'll give you those lessons in life. How can I have clearer thoughts? Well, you already have clear thoughts. It's what are you doing to interfere with those thoughts? What triggers are interfering with those thoughts? The triggers of a need to be right, a need to be offended, a need to feel inferior, superior, or separate, a need to be angry, upset, frustrated, guilty, resentful. Any of these needs are just interfering with the clarity of thought. So what we want to do is, when we are interfering with the clarity of thought, we need to stop, breathe through our nose, out through our mouth, drop, and then roll into a clearer thought pattern to use the higher capacity that we've been given, the higher train of thought, the incredible brain that we've been given. Let's put all the blood back in our brain and use it for what it was meant to be used for thoughtfulness. That's right, thoughtfulness. The speed of thought moves far faster than the speed of time. What's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in Utah? Advancement, progress, not perfection. The TV show that I'm working on here, The Real Deal, it's been an overnight success in 10 years. I brought with me my newest employee, and the progress that we've made to be able to onboard a new employee, the level in which they perform in their very first trip is extraordinary. So very proud of the progress, not perfection, but progress that we've made. We're going to bring on Michael Phillips in about 1 minute. Good to see you. Comeback Stories just came out today. Check it out. Donnie Starkins. We're going to see you with the great Michael Phelps at our new studio in Las Vegas on Tuesday. We got some great guests coming in. Check us out in the lobby of the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas with Blue Wire. We got great podcasts running and rocking and rolling on Tuesday, September 4th. Thank you, Blue Wire, for giving me such a great platform to utilize. Very, very excited. They know how to do things right. How do you decide which activities to prioritize? You got to know your 5 daily practices, your what, your who, your how, your now. Now is determined by knowing what you want, who can help you and who you can help, and how you're going to get it done. Once you know that, you'll know what's most important. Once you know what's most important, you will be able to prioritize what you're doing. All right, it is time to bring on the official Michael Phillips. and his program is increíble. Michael Phillips is the founder of Life Prep, fulfillment officer. There he is. How you doing, Michael?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm great. I'm a lot better on my Thankful Thursday because I have you here, and the work that you're doing is incredible. In the right place. We're preventative medicine. Teaching
Right.
people how to have a mindset, a heart set, and a handset that prepares them for success. And you've created quite a program, especially for our youth, in order to effectuate a brighter future for the wasted talent that you and I have both seen, experienced, and are trying to change. What has inspired you to create your program and to utilize it in the manner that you're utilizing it?
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you for having me on. Thank you for giving me this time and of course your platform, man. It's great to be with you. I followed you for years, so it's kind of great to be on with you today, man. For
Thank you.
me personally, um, the reason why I do the work that I do is because I was one of those kids. I was one of those kids without an advocate, without a voice, without somebody that helped steer me towards my potential and the possibilities that I could have in my life. And seeing those voids has helped me to jump in and to become an education advocate, start some of the programs that we've started, and continue as a goal to scale those programs all across the country.
And like me, you've utilized your platform to capture it in a variety of different ways. So not only you work hand in hand, but you also have an upcoming book coming out. Wrong Lanes Have Right Turns. I love the name of it. But what are some of the
Yeah,
key foundational lessons? I always say we plant seeds under trees that we never sit under. And a lot of the work that you and I do, we don't see the impact of it until years later because people have to learn the lessons themselves. It's not what we say, it's what they hear. It's not what we say, it's what they do. And sometimes it takes a little while, something happens, and yet 5 years later, they remember what Michael told them, and it makes sense, and epiphany changes a life. And so I assume, in your book, The Wrong Lanes Have Right Directions, a lot of it is about, giving as many signs to the right way to go that may not effectuate itself immediately.
yeah, absolutely. So, the reason I wrote this book, right, is just because, first of all, it's going to be more memorialized. Some kid is going to be able to pick that up. Some person is going to be able to pick that up years later, far beyond my life, and learn some valuable lessons, but also collectively as a society, right? Not just individually. We might be finding ourselves in the wrong lane. My story of didn't start where I am today. It started in a place of a lot of pain and a lot of trauma. And I had determined in my life that because I was able to make some turns and make some changes in my life, that I would transform that pain rather than transmit it so that the next generation would have to learn the lesson, didn't have to learn necessarily the lessons that I went through. And so that's part of the reason why I wrote that book. So to show that we all have the potential to go beyond our agony, not just as individuals, but also collectively as a society.
And there's a lot of factors that push people into the wrong direction, and they can be really simple ones if we start early enough. I'll give you an example. During COVID, I worked with Franco Harris and donated a bunch of laptops to at-risk kids. And the story that Franco told is about the kid who wants to be a doctor, a senator. He wants to be an entrepreneur. He's a good student. He has a single mom, a good mom, and COVID hits and he has to stay at home, but he has no laptop and they can't afford a laptop. He has no way to access education. So now he's bored. He's smart as shit. He goes out into the streets with it and he needs something to do. And now you're surrounded with the wrong people, the wrong ideas. And, he ends up, with the wrong girl and he ends up in the wrong crowd. And then he gets his first arrest and it keeps going. And now you take a kid that probably would have been an extraordinary leader. And here we are 5 years later because he didn't have access to the education that he wanted. He actually wanted to go to
Yeah,
school and he ends up in prison or worse, dead.
yeah.
What are some of the things that we're teaching the kids of, okay, there's going to be hard times. I was one of those kids. You got to still, even if you don't have the laptop, you got to use that brain of yours, the higher power thinking, to figure out asking for help to go get one. Because I guarantee there's enough help out there for any kid that needs help, that is really interested in getting help, that he can find it from people like you and I.
Yeah, well, there is no hierarchy of pain, right? There's no hierarchy of trauma, right? It's all traumatic, whether you don't have the laptop or your dad dies or whatever you experience in your life. That's pain worthy. It's trauma, and so those traumatic events, man, it sometimes helps you not to be able to know how to ask for help, right? That was my problem. Number one, I didn't know how to ask for help. And the way I had to get rid of that is to stop being loyal to my mistakes, and accept the humility and the fact that, and acknowledge that, okay, I have a part to play in all of this, and there's something I can do about it. I can ask for some help. And so for any kid that's going through traumatic times and difficulties, help is available. Part of my story is, being arrested and facing 30 years in prison. And I decided to turn myself in. It was a pivotal moment. I was at a busy intersection on the run on the way to Florida, running from law enforcement. And my mom called me and asked me to turn around and turn myself in. Well, I was in the wrong lane when that happened. I was literally at a busy intersection on I-95, and there was no way I could get over to make a U-turn. I had to roll my window down and wave people down and ask for help just to get over. And guess what? Everybody helped me. And that's when I discovered wrong lanes have right turns. And so you just have to get to the place where you can see and know that there's help available. And sometimes it's difficult for a young person to even understand that. And education, as it were, is the place where they're supposed to be getting the most help to see what's on the inside of them and to know that the potential that they have. So programs like the one that I have and the work that you do, and the vast army of individuals who are advocating for education reform and doing significant things in communities are available to these young people. And so we just want to make it known.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to make known too, to complement you and what you're doing, is, today things have changed from when we were young, because we have so many more avenues to ask for help. I know we have a lot more influence on us, but I love that how to ask for help. And I have utilized my sales training, my education, my experience to refine a simple question that I teach young people, old people, to teach them what I call ignorant humility. See,
Yeah.
understanding, number one, all people are ignorant, right? All people,
Right.
we don't know what we don't know. But
That's right.
alongside we don't know what we don't know, you get a choice to make. Am I going to admit it and be humble that I don't know what I don't know, or I'm going to be arrogant and pretend like I know everything? Once you get into that context, you also can think of another thing that has helped me tremendously, is that if I don't know what I don't know and I care about people, because most people,
Yeah.
at risk, not at risk, we care about people. That's one of the things that creates arrogance instead of humility. That's why our parents will say, I know what's best for you, because they care so much. But more
Yeah.
than that, much as you care about people, take the person you care about the most, whoever that may be, your child, your parent, whoever it may be. Think about, there is an omniscient, all-powerful being that feels the same way about you, right?
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. That's
they
right.
know everything.
That's right.
They know everything. So you're connected.
Yeah.
If you feel alone, you're afraid to ask for help. You made mistakes like every human being in the world. There's a as much as you care about someone, the most important person in your life, there's someone that cares the same about you, but they know everything and they're all powerful. So
Yeah.
that's where my humility comes from. And so you got to learn the one question, because we're so connected. Do you know anyone that can help me? If you learn that question, do you know anyone that can help me? It's an easy,
Yeah.
humble way. And most people say, I can help you, and I know somebody. And if they can't help you, they say, let me try to find somebody that can help you, son, daughter. Let me try to find somebody. Because an open mind, 99% of the people in the world have open minds. It's the
Yeah.
problem is you run into one person with a closed mind and you start thinking everybody has a closed mind. That ain't
That's
true.
right. That's right.
99% of people have open minds. So please, anybody listening to Michael and I, read this book, because the wrong lanes absolutely have the right turns, because pain is an indicator you got a better place to be. It's not a stop
That's right.
sign, it's a turn signal.
That's
Pain is
right.
a turn signal. So let's use it. Let's ask for help. Any last message or lesson before I let you go that you'd like to take from your book or from one of your speeches that you think would help people?
Yeah, man. Again, just thank you so much for the time and the platform. And I would say to everybody that regardless of where you are, you can go beyond your agony. It will not be like this forever. You will not be where you are forever. You can completely and totally make that turn and make that change. And I love what David said about asking for help and making sure that you're not being arrogant about not knowing what you don't know. We have all been there before, and there are so many people that are willing to help you get to where you're supposed to be.
Exactly. And you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, at the right place at the perfect time. But it doesn't mean that we don't
Yeah.
have a better place to be, a better position, or a better situation for everyone. The world wants that for us. The universe wants to expand and grow and accelerate. Allow it to happen by doing your best, learning lessons, and having fun. Ask for help. Thank you, Michael, for helping so many people, including me. I look forward to having you back on.
Man, love to do that. Thank you so much.
You're amazing, man. Check out that book. Wrong lanes have right turns. Check it out. It's everywhere. Look out. It's coming up soon. Thank you so much, Michael. Take care. Awesome. Michael Phillips. Check him out. Mike Phillips Official. You can check him out. He's right there. Woo! A little bit emotional about enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential and asking for help. Appreciate Michael so much. Thank you, Mike, for all the work that you do. Brought tears to my eyes because so many wasted lives. All right, Lionel, are you here? My friend Lionel in the house. Let me just see here. Tip Snaps, I believe, is Lionel, co-founder of Tip Snaps. All right, I'm going to make a bet here. Lionel's joining me. Excited about that book, Meet Dublin. Hey, Lionel, no, what's going on?
Hey, David. Thanks for having me.
You got it. So I got to figure this out. Your last name, D-O-U-G,
Douget.
the E with the tilde on it. How do I pronounce that?
It's Douget. So Haitian American, so the French influence.
Oh, yes, I won.
Yes, sir.
I won. That's Nick, my boy Nick is supposed to put the pronunciations, and I read that. I said, there's no way D-O-U-G-E is Douget. It's Douget. I knew it.
Yes,
And
sir.
Nick, you just lost your bonus for the month. Congratulations for being half-ass. We appreciate that in our company, people that not only will go as far as just guessing, but put it down on paper. Anyway, co-founder and CEO of Tip Snaps. Give us a little bit of background on Tip Snaps, and I think you got a question for me as well.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thanks for having me on. Amazing platform. Love what you're doing. It's really positive and life-changing for a lot of people. So, yeah, so Tip Snaps, founder, CEO, we were founded in 2017. We're a creator economy platform that enables all creators to monetize their content and their fans, and for their fans to basically engage with their favorite creators. We also have a credo and a passion to uplift creators of color who are typically overlooked and sometimes taken for granted by the incumbent social media platforms, thus things like the Black TikTok strike. So we have almost 500,000 registered users on our site, and we've paid out several $1 million to creators. So we're really excited about the creator economy. We believe that there are a ton of niches of creators who don't recognize that they can monetize their fan base. People kind of associate platforms with the function of what they're doing. So OnlyFans has a really kind of clear space in how creators monetize there. Patreon also has a space, but there are a ton of niches of creators that just don't kind of recognize that their fans would fund them and that they could sell their content. So my question to you as a super successful entrepreneur, investor, but also creator, do you have any macro trends or insights that you're excited about the creator economy over the next 3 to 5 years? Would love to get your insights.
Yeah, Shakespeare's my biggest epiphany of the creator economy. And what I mean by that is Shakespeare has two things that he taught. One, to thy own self be true, which is completely applicable to what you do. Is there's so many people that are trying to please an audience instead of being themselves, which is relative to the second Shakespearean lesson, which is the whole world is your stage. And as we look at the size, the scope, and the scale of our reach, and we look at our own frequency, to thy own self be true, and we keep looking within ourselves of who we are and what lessons can we share, what content, what entertainment, what inspiration, what motivation, what aspiration, whatever it may be, who we are, our frequency, to thy own self be true. We now can practice and strengthen that frequency, but for the first time in the history of the world, we can reach the entire world because the whole world is our stage. And we are having right now a difficult time truly appreciating what that means, what it means to be able to access everybody on earth with our message, our lessons, our comedy, whatever it may be. And I think the more we realize it, you'll see a trend of these micro communities that people will start appreciating, you know, that if you have 1,000 ambassadors, 1,000 people that will tell 1,000 people, you gotta watch Lionel, you gotta watch David, you gotta buy his books and, you know, join his trainings and watch his TV shows and movies, just 1,000 people, you'll never have to work again. And I think too many people are trying to, you know, have 9 million followers on TikTok as a dancing bear to hold up some watch, to have people buy a watch or a purse or lipstick. I get that. But that's always been in the advertising and marketing world, right? That's called endorsement. But you're talking about content creators that inspire, they aspire, they motivate, they entertain, right?
That's right.
They don't just have a face with a product. And I think we're going to start realizing, and the people that have been creating content are going to benefit from it, how powerful 1,000 ambassadors are with a strong signal, the right spectrum, and a clear message of who you are. You're never going to have to work again because of the access that you have.
It's amazing. Yeah, you're preaching our gospel. You know, there are niches like Black Hair and Beauty on YouTube, for example. They generate billions of watch hours, but the entire community of those creators don't necessarily recognize that the YouTube monetization model is really not in their favor. So, for example, somebody with 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, on average, estimated YouTube partner payouts maybe around $600 to $2,000 a month. You could 7x to 10x that money if you just switch your fan base behind your subscription paywall on a platform like TipSnaps or what have you. So imagine instead of $2,000, you're making $10,000 because those fans, 1% of your fans, as you said, the 1,000, your most fervent fans are absolutely gonna kind of fund you and because they love you, and your creativity is basically why they're on these platforms. So historically, the incumbent platforms have basically kept all of that revenue that they sell to advertisers. But hey, you are your Netflix, right? Like people come to watch you. So anyways, as I have one more question for you. We're really passionate about.
Let me add to what Lionel, let me add to what you said too. So think of yourself as a chocolate covered fried Snickers bar. Not everybody loves it, but no matter what, a certain percentage of people that walk by that stand at the fair, they automatically love it. You're just like that fried chocolate Snickers bar. A certain amount of people are going to walk by and love you. And that's what you want to get to. And you got to make sure that you're creating content on the right platform where enough people are going to walk by and be like, oh my gosh, I love this person. And those people are going to make a difference in all aspects of your life. But go ahead. I'll let you have a second question.
Just around the evolution of the creator economy. So we have this feature around crowdfunding for content. So your 500,000 fans, what if we kind of got together and came up with an idea to crowdfund, let's say, $50,000 for you to do a piece of content, for you to do a specific video? Because today, the fans, although you're a type of creator that, you know, we know that you pay attention to comments and you invite fans and followers to your platform, but so many don't. And the fans kind of feel unheard. But with this feature that we built, we kind of want to flip that to kind of give the fans abilities to say, hey, look, we've crowdfunded money to see you do this content. So anyways, do you have any thoughts about that? Like the fans kind of having the power to request the content?
I think it's genius. You know, it just goes back to how many people pay a ticket to go to see something. Now you could pay a ticket to not only see it, but to create it. And so, I think that model is brilliant. And I think if it's positioned the correct way and clearly defined and articulated the value that, hey, not only are you buying a ticket to come to this, but you're part of the creation, and maybe include some input from the crowdfunding participants of how would you like this? What lessons would you like to hear? Determined upon the content creator. For me, it would be like, what lessons would you like me to teach? What should we include as topics and et cetera? So have that participation as well. And I think beyond, spending $50 at a movie theater for your family, or 100 or 200, people would rather pay $50 to $200 to invest in a piece of content that we can all own, and then create it for specifically the crowdfunded group, and then market it and sell tickets to it as well. So I would be happy to be a guinea pig and beta test that if you'd like, because that's a great idea. Does that sound fair?
That's amazing. Absolutely. So I'll follow up with Nick, because that sounds awesome.
If Nick's still working, remember, he mispronounced your name. I love Nick. I'm just teasing. Thanks, Lionel.
Thank you, David.
Tip Snaps. Check him out. Thanks for joining me. Some great questions. Everybody was interested in that. I know. Trust me. Just like they were interested in helping out Mike and I, planting seeds under trees that we may never sit under. Go ahead and reach out to Tip Snaps if you want me to do a crowdfunding piece of content, a collaborative piece of content that we can all monetize together. I will be your customized tool of content, creating what you want, lessons you want to learn, things you think are best for me to teach. All right. Well, we're getting right on time here. Woo! This person, she's amazing. The Chief Potential Officer. I've never heard of that before. The Spiritual Guide for Business Empires, AKA the Royal Shaman. I am so excited. Makosi, I'm having, there we go. She's here. I am so excited. This will be super cool. I need another shaman in my life. The Royal Shaman is coming on. Where are you? There she is.
Hi, David.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Fabulous as well. Now I'm even better. It's Thankful Thursday, and I just have to tell you, I'm so thankful for everyone that's come on with me today, and what a cleanup hitter I have. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, first of all, tell me about what a Chief Potential Officer does, and then we'll talk about being a Royal Shaman.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I came up with the concept of Chief Potential Officer when I realized, working with so many conscious leaders, that what they desired most at the peak of performance was accessing more of their potential. And that's exactly what I do with them. And so that also ties in with being the Royal Shaman. The title Makosi actually means chief or royal shaman, spiritual advisor, but also I serve as a spiritual advisor to what I consider today's royals, which is the best entrepreneurs in the world.
They will save the world, that's for sure. And I'm here at another TV show proving it with some of the interesting and unbelievable innovations that are going to save our planet and our lives. We had something today called Life Vac on one of my shows, and it was a really simple way to stop people from when they're choking. Basically a human plunger. It was incredible. And 160,000 lives are lost every year to choking. It's amazing how entrepreneurs, the other thing, our names are so important. My name, David Meltzer, David means beloved, and Meltzer means servant. So I can be a beloved servant of your royal shamanness. And the idea of potential, though, especially amongst leaders, I talk about enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Potentiality comes from energetic and genetic inheritance. And within the context of our energetic and genetic inheritance, we need to, number one, choose the right potentials, and then be able to be consistent and persistent in the pursuit of that potential without listening to what other people think, especially when they laugh at us, scoff at us, and make fun of us as entrepreneurs, or what we don't want, which often occurs when we're trying to expand and grow, or what's missing. Because when we focus in on what other people want, what's missing, what we don't want, that's what we end up getting. How do you, number one, get people to understand the best potential to pursue, and two, how to be consistent and persistent in that pursuit?
Yeah, there's really two pieces to this. I actually invite people to explore what's considered the shadow, or what is the aspects of them that they've really suppressed, or the aspects of them that feel triggered. And so utilizing what is uncomfortable, we actually begin to uncover what is our euphoria, what is actually in alignment for us, because that's giving us insight into maybe the parts of ourselves that we were conditioned to fit in, or to be loved, or feel safe and connected, so on and so forth. And so the way that I invite people to do that is through 1% aligned action. I read The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy many, many years ago, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant to then apply that to energetics. So when I'm looking at helping someone step into more of their potential, I'm looking for how can they begin to integrate that aspect of themselves that maybe they've shied away from or suppressed, and begin just taking 1% aligned action every day, which of course, as you know, compounds over time, and then boom, you have what I call a quantum leap, or what we deem like the overnight success, which actually is not overnight.
Right, which is one of my favorite things to teach as well. And from Einstein on, in the compound effect of 1% being the rule of 72, in case people haven't studied that. One of the other things that I utilize that you do is the consciousness quiz. And the reason I do it is I believe in that pursuit of our potential, we need to know our what, who, and then once we know our what, we can decide who can we help and who can help us, how we're going to get it done, and then prioritize that 1% of what activity should we be participating in now, in applying our why to that. Your consciousness quiz allows me to effectuate my what in a very interesting way. Give us a little bit of background about the consciousness quiz that you have.
Yeah, so I actually came to this understanding, and it's always evolving, truth be told, where I'm simply just observing.
So you're getting 1% better every day too.
Absolutely, right? I got to practice what I'm preaching.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm someone who spends a lot of time just observing like what's happening in the world, and my focus is what is the root cause of this issue, which ultimately brought me to this doorway of consciousness. And I realized very quickly that part of the formula to creating alignment and aligned abundance for ourselves is actually monitoring or seeing at what level of consciousness we're operating in. And it's not to say one is better than the other, right? Like that's like saying first grade is better than eighth grade. No. However, it's really important for you to be self-aware, for you to be conscious of what maybe you do know, but also what are your blind spots. And so I think that we need to have more conversations around consciousness and awareness. And I think we got in the past 18 months this huge opportunity to wake up to, wait, actually, I wasn't conscious at all. I was like in zombie mode, and I created this whole life that I actually didn't even want. I was just trying to prove myself or trying to be successful, or so on and so forth. So that's really where that came from.
Yeah, and that quiz also allows you to figure out what you already are. I talk about I am healthy, I am happy, I am worthy, and I am wealthy. What am I doing to interfere with that? And completely aligned with my soul's purpose, we can clear that interference. Is there a modality that you've learned or that you teach to consciously end the interference or fear that exists, the primal fears that we have that are triggered by people, places, ideas of needs to be separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, whatever it may be? What modality have you found to best serve clearing the interference between you and the soul's purpose or your truth or your potential?
Yeah, in really exploring this and examining all the different layers, I came to understand that the identity aspect of us, so who you believe that you are, David, you know, all of the experiences that you've had, how you chose to perceive yourself in the world is the root of how we experience life on a day-to-day basis. And from that identity, we create thoughts, feelings, perspectives, we build skills and have certain talents that are all birthed from that identity level. So my method, the energetics of euphoria, really works on that identity level where I, through the uncomfortable, through what is triggering or maybe a little aggravating or frustrating, whatever that is for you, we begin to explore and integrate into your identity aspects of you that maybe you didn't believe that you are, or that you believe you quote unquote should be. And an example of that is, I'm sure that you've experienced this, where on this journey, sometimes you have to come up against a tendency to people please. So many of us are brought up, yeah, we're brought up in a way where we associate goodness with martyrdom, right? Which can lead us to saying yes to a ton of things that actually aren't in our highest good or another person's highest good. So on an identity level, if you can begin to see that actually it is good and empowering to yourself and to others to say no, and you begin to embody that and live that, then you become more of your potential. You're no longer overly giving, overly sacrificing, and draining your energy. You are actually operating in the world in the most impactful way.
Yeah, maximizing the great chain of feeding that feeds us, and allowing the things that bleed us to fall away or even fire them from our lives. You can be my royal shaman anytime. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Go take the consciousness quiz. Go see, where can people find you? Where's the best place?
I'm usually on Instagram, if you can find me anywhere, at The Royal Shaman, or you can visit my website, theroyalshaman.com.
As easy as that. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to having more content and discussions with you. You're incredible. Thank you for being of service. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Incredible royal shaman. She's amazing. Did not disappoint, I'll tell you. All of my guests, Kosti, thank you so much. Lionel, of course. And last but not least, the amazing Michael Phillips. All being of service and of value to other people. Please check them all out. I got time for one question, then I'm going to go over to JA Worldwide. I am the Chief Chancellor of Junior Achievement University. We have a Junior Achievement Impact Award winner on 2-Minute Drill, where you can win $50,000 of cash and prizes. If you have not applied for Season 3, please do so. David@dmeltzer.com. Reach out to me, David@dmeltzer.com. If you want any of the guides from today, the 5 daily practices, or my book, ebook, audiobook, or you want me to sign a copy and send it to you or a friend, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. So thank you so much. What lesson do you think you relearned the most is my last question from Nick. It's not the right pronunciation of names. I know that lesson I don't need to relearn, but maybe you should, Nick. But the one that I need to relearn is the need to be offended. I have a terrible need to be offended. And the stop, drop, and roll lesson of spending minutes and moments in ego-based consciousness is absolutely the lesson that I have to relearn most, to go ahead and be ignorant and humble instead of ignorant and arrogant. We are so excited and appreciative for everyone. It is Thankful Thursdays. Say thank you when you go to bed and when you wake up. I guarantee it. Your life will change. Do it for 30 straight days. Your life will change. dmeltzer.com/pitch to apply for 2-Minute Drill Season 3, $50,000 of cash and prizes. In 5 minutes, I will be over to JA Impact. JA Worldwide, Michael Katos, founder and CEO of Playing the Field, incredible entrepreneur, won the JA Impact Award. We will be donating money to Junior Achievement. As the Chief Chancellor, I'm honored to do so as well. David at dmeltzer.com. Don't forget me. Thankful Thursdays. Remember, most importantly, everyone, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.